Good evening, Bedford County Democrats. I am Amanda Green Hawkins. I am running for Pennsylvania's Commonwealth Court. I live in Pittsburgh, right in the city, with my husband and our two children, who are both Pittsburgh public school students. And I have been a lawyer here in Pittsburgh with the Steelworkers Union for going on 20 years. It makes me uniquely prepared and uniquely qualified for the work of the Commonwealth Court, because it's the court that handles appeals from our state's administrative agencies. And so a strong background in administrative law is going to be important for success on this court. And I have been with the largest industrial union in North America. We represent about 1 million workers and retirees throughout the public and private sectors of our economy. I'm also one of only 2,000 or so attorneys in the entire country, recognized as a union lawyer by the National AFL-CIO. And it means something. You can trust that my career is steeped in administrative law. I have appeared before administrative agencies at the state and federal level around the country. I have also handled appeals from administrative agencies in federal and state courts around the country. And when I talk about this experience and about administrative law, it still may seem a little esoteric, but if I bring it closer to home by saying, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say that my job is to fight for 100 women who only spoke Spanish in their workplace. They didn't speak any English, and they were subjected to unspeakable conditions in the workplace. They were cheated out of their fair wages. They were subjected to sexual harassment. They were working in unsafe and in unhealthy working conditions. And I was there to work with the federal agency to fight for the dignity and respect of these women in the workplace, to make sure that they got their fair wages, to make sure that conditions were improved in that workplace so that they could go home the same way that they went to work. This is administrative law. This is the work that I do. It may also mean that sometimes I am fighting for just one person who may be at risk of losing their job because they're addicted to opioids. But here's what I know, because I've been doing this work so long, that many times people get addicted to opioids because they got injured at work. And it's while they're recovering from their injury that they're prescribed opioids and get addicted while they're out on workers' compensation. And not only am I there to work with them and to work with their team handling the workers' compensation matter, I'm also there to fight for their dignity and respect and their second chance in the workplace when the boss wants to fire them. It may also mean that I am fighting for the person who operates the family child daycare home, and her clientele is largely single mothers, low-income mothers who desperately need their jobs. And the child care provided by my client is desperately needed by these families. But the state may come and take her license to operate that family child daycare home. And I'm there to fight, to deal with the agency, to appeal to Commonwealth Court if necessary, to make sure that she can get that license back and provide that much needed service to people in low-income families in her community. This is the work of the Commonwealth Court. This is the work that I have done. This is administrative law work. And my career is steeped in it. And this is the court that can certainly affect your job, your right to vote, your access to health care, and so many other things that we may not even think about or take for granted. That's how important this court is. And we saw that on full display last fall when our challenges were being made to how we were conducting our elections here in Pennsylvania by the Trump camp. And I'm proud to say that I was part of the legal team that was confronted with those lawsuits and dealing with them so that our votes and our voices were heard, not just here in Pennsylvania, but around the country. And I would also say for my candidacy that I passed the FIT test. I say the F, you want someone you know who could be fair, like the fairness I had to show when I worked as a mediator and when I worked with a judge in Superior Court, as well as in federal court, making the proper recommendations to the judges about how decisions should turn out in a fair and impartial way. And I know you're looking for someone with the I in FIT, integrity. And I certainly had to show integrity when I served 2 terms on Allegheny County Council And when I served on the Port Authority Board of Allegheny County, and when I served most recently on the Community Task Force on Police Reform, there's always pressure to do something other than what you know is right. And I have withstood the pressure and done what I have known to be right and responsible and in compliance with my duty and obligation to serve the public. That comes first. And I know you're looking for someone with the right temperament, someone who's going to treat people with it, dignity and respect, so that they know that their voices have been heard and part of the discussion and valued. And at a time when people are concerned about bias in our judicial system, when we only have one person of color as a judge in our appellate system of 31 judges, and we can't unsee what we've seen over the past year. Thousands of people in the streets around the country asking if justice is accessible or attainable for people who look like them. We know it's even more important that judges have the right temperament towards litigants in the courtroom. And that's what I'll bring. And I've been rated recommended by the Allegheny County Bar Association, as well as the Pennsylvania Bar Association for a Commonwealth Court. And I humbly ask you, Bedford County, for your help and your continued support to get there. I am truly humbled. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda. I have a question for you. Hi, Maria. I see you're on here. Do you mind if we ask Amanda a question or a couple questions and then we jump on with you?
Of course, yeah. Do you want me to hop back, zoom off somewhere and zoom back on?
Whichever is convenient for you.
Okay, I'm going to zoom on and I have 4 more Zooms tonight.
Okay.
So I'll zoom back on, okay?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure.
So Amanda, tell me what benefit Bedford County residents will get by having you on the court to represent them, and what it really means to you know, to folks like me and Marty and Jeff and Dave here, and really all of our Bedford County Democrats, what having judges like you on the court mean to us. What does the Commonwealth Court mean for the average citizen, you know, in our county?
Sure. I think it means everything, just about everything to the citizens of Bedford County and all of the rest of the 66 counties as well, because the court is making so many decisions about so many aspects of our lives. Land use decisions. I mean, I mentioned voting and access to health care and your job, but also land use decisions, environmental protection issues. If an agency does it in this state, it touches on you and your community. And diversity of race and age and gender are certainly important, and that is needed on the court, but it's also important to have diversity of background. And I am the only candidate in the race with an extensive background in labor law and administrative law. And that was certainly pointed out even by the Pennsylvania Bar Association in their remarks concerning my candidacy, because they recognize how important it is to have that extensive administrative background. And so I can certainly bring this experience to the bench. Also, political affiliation. You know, judges are to be impartial and fair. However, and apply the law. However, political affiliation can influence judicial philosophy. And with the Commonwealth Court, we have 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats, and it is anticipated that decisions will be appealed to the Supreme Court coming out of the Commonwealth Court. And this is amongst my colleagues around the state that I know. It's anticipated that decisions will automatically be appealed. And this court generally has a high rate of reversal from the Supreme Court. And I don't think that has anything to do with the capability of the judges on Commonwealth Court. I think that has more to do with the fact that the court is unbalanced when it comes to judicial philosophies, probably, with 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And so with me as a Democrat on the court, it helps to add balance to the decisions coming out of the Commonwealth Court, and less likely to be appealed and perhaps less likely to be reversed, because we have more perspectives added to the discussion about justice and fairness. And I've been to Bedford County, so I know, I know what's important to the people there. I've been there. I'm happy to return and learn more about Bedford and the people there. And that's important when you're talking about making decisions about people's lives and livelihoods. You got to know who you're talking about.
So Amanda, how can you help us with how can we appeal to Republicans in the county on your behalf?
I think it's important to know, to first let people know we have a candidate who can show fairness, has integrity, has the right judicial temperament, and has the experience for the court, and looks first and foremost at applying the law, and also looks at how the law, how the judicial system, how a judge can make decisions that help people, that best help people. Many times the decisions made by the courts address the issues in a lawsuit and affect the outcome of the lawsuit, but don't really address some underlying fundamental issues that may show themselves in the case. And so without resolving those issues, you could have people coming back for another matter, or maybe the same issue arises again. And I say this when it comes to, for example, with workers' compensation cases and opioid addiction. There is a connection between people going out on workers' compensation and being prescribed opioids and being addicted to opioids. Is there some way that we can help people, aside from looking at permanency ratings for disability with workers' compensation, looking at the impact of the drugs that they've been prescribed on them and their families, their lives? How is it that we can best help them so they're not coming back as part of the criminal system? And I have also received the endorsement of the International Association of Firefighters, and I have received the recommendation for support by the Pennsylvania Fraternal Order of Police. And I note those two groups particularly because they have reputations for being a little more conservative than others, but it highlights the fact that we have people across, I have support across philosophies, across backgrounds, who see that I can be fair and trust that I will be fair. I know you are, and I appreciate you and the work that you do there. And I'm always praying for your safety and well-being. We had a little incident last year there. I called you like, oh my God, Valerie, are you all okay? So
Thank you.
Thinking about you all, and just very happy for your support.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.